Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, and I, of course, represent YouTube's bargain basement of the airwaves. I'm back today with my latest video, my latest figure review. Today, a nice classic vintage figure we're going to go ahead and review here. This is my Trendmasters Biollante figure. So I grew up with these Trendmasters Godzilla figures, always been a very big fan of them. Obviously most of them are very stylized designs of the various kaiju that they're based off of, but they're still really cool nonetheless. And they allowed me to really start building up my collection of having, different, different kaiju, other than just Godzilla. So I was definitely very, very happy, to be able to get these when I was younger and start collecting them and all that. And, believe me, they've had plenty of play use as well. So I very much cherish these figures. And, even to this day, some ones that were more rare that I haven't been able to get, I was able to, track down some of those, later on. So anyways, though, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a backstory on this, but we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into it here. What I want to start with is actually the card that Biollante came with. And that is this right here. Very nice money shot. Really, really like the artwork done for Biollante. It looks very, very cool. This, of course, is from the Trendmasters Godzilla King of the Monsters line. This particular incarnation was a 1995 release by Toho. Or, excuse me, yeah. Copyright Toho, but Trendmasters released this figure in 1995. This was before the Godzilla Wars line, so it was the King of the Monsters initially. You guys can see that there. And then a nice little read-up on the back as well. With some, bit of a backstory and, some stats for Biollante as well. Obviously not everything accurate here, but it's really cool nonetheless. Of course, you got the Godzilla King of the Monsters line, you got the Biollante trademark logo, Trendmasters, and of course Toho. And this is number 11 in the line, as you guys can see. So if you want to pause it, though, you can always read up on it if you'd like. But just so you guys can see the card again, I have it in this little insert just to help protect it. So very, very cool. Now, as far as the figure itself goes here, we'll start with the paint and the detail. Very nice, various shadings of green throughout Biollante's body here, just to kind of depict different highlights. You've got some foresty green, and you've got like these deeper shades of green throughout, as you guys can see. Nice texturing for the various scales and what have you, and some of like the thorns that she's got like on her vines here and whatnot. And again, all the scales and the sort of roots that grow out there, you guys can see along like the tendrils that she's got here, the tentacles. There's the main head here, nice, almost like a deep red for the eyes. There is some, of course, there is some dust on it. It's an older figure, I apologize, but, I'm just kind of doing the best I can to showcase for you guys. Anyways, you've got this sort of creamish bone color done for the tusks there that Biollante has. The two rows on each side here. So you got the two tusks there, and then the lower tusks on the lower jaw, done for each side, as you guys can see. And again, more of that creamish bone color done for the teeth on the inside of the mouth. And you see the teeth are, for the most part, individually sculpted. Obviously, it's more than bleeding, though, that's done on the paint. It's really just wear and tear over time, so some of the paint's kind of faded out. But you guys can still see, nonetheless, again, some of that sort of like pink or deep red for the inside of the mouth, the roof there. More of those rows of teeth on the upper part where the roof is there, and then of course on the where the tongue is there, nice detail work. So really looks good overall. Again, some more of the vines and scales along her face here. Nice detail work captured along the snout there, and where it goes into those protruding eyebrows above the eyes. And again, more of these scales here, these plant-like scales that she's got all along her face, and that go down her body into like a pseudo dorsal spine kind of look, but they're really like plant spines basically. Very cool. Again, like I said, the thorns that are done for each of the tentacles, you got 6 that they depicted on her here. So you got the 3 on each side, all done in the different shadings of green, again with the scales and vines done throughout each of the tentacles there. Again, more of that creamish bone color they did for the paintwork for the teeth. The mouth's kind of all just done in the various shadings of green, so they didn't really do anything there. And but you guys can still see the heads nonetheless. Again, the paint's a bit faded and a little bit dusty too over time. So again, I do apologize, but obviously having these figures since I was a kid, there's a lot of wear and tear anyways. But still very cool nonetheless. You guys can see there. And as we move down here, you got the sort of the vines and tentacles there. Or excuse me, the vines and scales, I should say, there, that go from the bottom of the neck down the chest and abdomen area. Of course, you got that nice orangish paint scheme done for the core that she's got on her lower abdomen, with the green vines that go around that. I would say looks really cool. Nice detail work there. You can see that there's some holes because there would be some of these figures, I guess they just kind of kept the look all throughout, but some of them you can have a compartment that you can open up and put a battery in for a roaring effect. This particular one doesn't have that, but still cool though nonetheless there. Again, more of the different shadings of green done throughout. Nice thick legs there. Now on this, again, stylized design, because Biollante is not really depicted with legs, but for Trendmasters they gave her these very thick, muscular looking legs there. Again, these are done in that deeper green, I would say. And again, you got more of the creamish bone color for the toenails there. As you guys can see on the top side, the bottom side is just the deeper green. But you do have some detail work done on the bottom side of the feet though as well. Of course, and they gave her this tail as well, plant-like tail. You got that sort of plant-like dorsal spine going into this tail with, again, more of the spines or scales, I should say, and viney features done throughout, and some thorns as well, as you guys can see along the tail. So very cool. And then it sort of spreads out to these various tips here. 5 different tips that she's got on the end of the tail. Very cool. And then of course on the bottom of the tail you got the trademark information, copyright 1995, Toho Trendmasters. It's made in China. And on the underside of the tail though, here you got more scales and detail work that's captured for it. So it looks very cool. Again, you can see all the detailing for the back. Just some screws, I guess, where this is just kind of put together. So actually, I think it might actually have a battery compartment, because I'm looking at the way that this is. Looks like it might actually open up. So, but I've never used the feature, and I'm sure that the screws are pretty much fused on there now. I'm not going to mess with it, but still very cool nonetheless here. So a lot of detail work done for Biollante. Very awesome. I think that pretty much covers it for her paint and detail work here. As far as articulation goes, you've actually got a decent amount of points of articulation. The main head for Biollante can swivel, and you can rotate it all the way around if you like, so you guys can see that here. And then each of the tentacles have swivels as well. They all sort of join into this main point, or pretty much so, on each side, and then they rotate. Can't really get them to go all the way around just because of the sculpt and everything. They're kind of hindered, but you can certainly put them in some different positions here. Each of the tentacles, you guys can see. So you can do some different posing with those. I kind of keep her in more of a neutral stance like that. I usually prefer. And then, of course, the legs, or they join into where like the hip area would be here. These can rotate as well and swivel. And so you can go forward and back. Again, the sculpt is going to hinder it from going all the way around in a 360 motion, but you can certainly kick forward and go a little bit back on each one there. So you guys can see that. Yeah. And then that's it. Nothing at the tail or anything like that, but not too bad. I mean, basic for the most part, but, you know, for what it is, a pretty cool amount of articulation that she's got. And then other than that, now we'll go ahead and look at sizing. So let's go ahead here with the ruler. And you guys can see now, if you're looking at the main body for Biollante, where like the top portion is, or that back like spine would be, that's, I'd say, right about 4.5 inches, I would say. So I'll bring the camera in a little bit closer so you guys can see that there. And then if you want to look at like the tentacles here, if you have them raised up a little bit more, they're more about 5 inches or so in height there. But again, I would more so look at the main part of the body, which is in sort of that 4.5 inch scale range. And that's par for the course of Trendmasters. They're in that 4 to 5 inch scale range. So not really going to fit in with your 6 inch, 6 to 7 inch, figures. But again, these were meant to kind of go in scale with each other for the most part anyways. So, and it definitely works. And as far as a size comparison goes, bringing out my Trendmasters Godzilla figure here, and you guys can see there what they look like next to each other, I should say. And pretty decent sizing, not perfect, because Biollante should definitely be larger than Godzilla. I think she's supposed to be 120 meters tall, and well, Godzilla in Godzilla versus Biollante at that point was only 80 meters, but this is based off the I believe the 100-meter version, but still though little off sizing, but nonetheless though definitely gets the job done. So very, very cool though. I think for the most part these Trendmasters figures do look good with each other on a shelf. So anyway, now lastly, as far as pricing goes, now even though this is a vintage figure, but you can still get it pretty readily available, especially on websites like eBay. I've seen numerous listings for Biollante. So if you're going to look to just get like the plain figure itself, I would say you're looking at about $20 or a little bit more. Now, if you want it with the card or want it in packaging, then you're going to be looking to pay to play a little bit more, because that's going to drive the price up. And I'd say you'd be looking at least twice that price, if not more. So it just kind of depends what you're looking for. But if you just want to get the figure itself, it's for what it is, especially being a vintage figure, it's still reasonably priced. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what to look at. But other than that, I think that pretty much wraps it up here. We're getting or mid-December-ish right now. I would say it's probably going to be at least a few weeks or so before I make another video, so this is probably going to be it for this year for me. But we'll see what 2025 has in store for us, folks. Definitely more Godzilla and kaiju figure reviews planned in the works here, and then hopefully doing maybe some collaborations with my buddies, Everett, aka Godzilla Fan Freaks, and Nick Adam from the Monster Report. So, lots of stuff to look forward to, guys. But in the meantime, I hope everybody has a very happy holiday. I hope you guys enjoy, stay safe, and just make the best out of it. But again, I think this wraps it up for this video, folks. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.